Hey everyone, welcome back to youtube.com/snapbolt, and I got a modern league for you here. This is blue-white control with Kaheera the Ophanguard as companion. So this is just a 3-mana 3/2 vigilance, and the companion requirement is that each creature in your starting deck has to be a cat, elemental, nightmare, dinosaur, or beast. But the way I built this deck is there's just no creatures in the main. So we basically just have access to a free 3-mana 3/2 vigilance. Not sure how great that's going to be, but I wanted to test it out, and I think it seems pretty decent. We don't get to play Stoneforge Mystic or Snapcaster Mage, but I also wanted to play a deck with main deck Rest in Peace right now, just to hate on the Lurrus Decks and the other control decks, and we don't need to use the graveyard in this deck at all. So basically we get to play Kaheera and main deck Rest in Peace. Other than that, it's like kind of like a slightly older version of blue-white control because I'm playing Terminus. I think this card seems pretty well positioned right now as well. I think it seems better than Verdict. And to set up Terminus, we have 4 Opt and 4 Serum Visions. And Serum Visions doesn't set up Terminus the best always, but you can still just Serum and then leave it on top or next from the top, and then next turn Terminus. So it still works fairly decently. And then we also have 3 Jace the Mind Sculptor to brainstorm and put Terminus back. Other than that, just a lot of cards you'd expect, a couple mana leaks, a couple spell snare, which I think is actually good right now because everyone's playing Lurrus, so they're going to have 2 drops. And then 2 Archmage Charm, 2 Cryptic, and then 2 3 Fairy and 2 Big to Fairy. Timely Reinforcements. I think this is actually a nice include because you can see a lot of your deck every game. So you can actually find the Timely relatively easily. And 4 Path, which I think is also a card that's well positioned right now. And then moving over to the sideboard, we obviously have the Kaheera, and then a couple of Disenchants, and then Quad Core Firewalker. So if we're against Burn or Prowess, we bring in Firewalker, we will no longer have access to Kaheera, but I think Firewalker is just so good in those matchups that it's worth it. So when we board in Quad Firewalker, we won't have Companion, but I think that's totally worth. A 3rd Rest in Peace against something like Dredge, where we might want it. Don't really want to go up to 4, because again, you can see a lot of your deck, and Opt Serum Visions, you can always find Rest in Peace that way as well, especially if you go up to 3. 3 Mysticals, a Dovins, that's mostly against like combo and stuff like that, where we want even more counter spells. A Narset for whenever that's good, and a couple Ashioks against ramp strategies. But I'm pretty excited to try out Kaheera in Modern in this control shell. I think it should be pretty decent at protecting our planeswalkers, pressuring their planeswalkers, and maybe just like when we fight a resource battle, then just like playing a 3/2 after that and leaving up counter magic and start attacking. We might be able to win some games. So we'll see. We can also attack with Colonnade, which is nice. But I guess one thing I wanted to say is just like, even though I think companions are bad for the game in general, I think they're too powerful. I had fun playing with them, and moving forward, like if I'm playing some Modern leagues or Pioneer leagues, I'm almost certainly going to be playing decks with companions. I think it's really strong, and it is honestly pretty fun. So just make the best of it, and I'll see you in round 1. Let's go. Alright, welcome to round 1 with blue-white control with Kaheera, and we're against MDA 11. We'll be on the play, reveal our companion. Our opponents also probably will just initially put us on either elementals or some type of aggro deck because we reveal Kaheera. So that's kind of a nice little bonus. Just gonna lead Flooded Strand here, pass. This hand's not insane, but we have Jace, can put back Terminus. We have a Path to buy us some time. We have a T3 Kaheera, which we're always going to have. Llanowar Elves. Okay, so let's see if we draw a Terminus. I'm going to fetch End Stepped. Just get a Hallowed Fountain. I'm assuming we're against Elves. We'll see. No Companion from our opponent as well. Archmage Charm. Okay, I'll just play another Flooded Strand. Pass the turn. Definitely not playing Kaheera on T3 now since we have this Charm. Yep, just looks like black-green elves. feel like this is a decent matchup for us. Arc Druid, okay. I feel like I don't want to kill that. I give him another land if I do, and maybe it's fine. And then just leave up Charm next turn. Gonna fetch. Don't want to path on upkeep because then I also don't have Charm up. Just gonna get another tap land. Just deciding if I want to path this now. He gets a land. This makes 2 mana and potentially more next turn. And if I path this now, I'll just always have Charm up. I think I convinced myself. I don't really want to just give him like 1,000,000 mana, and if he has 1 more mana, I think that's fine. Definitely not going to play Kaheera, so that telegraphs our play a little bit, but that's fine. Just leave up Charm. Could also just gain control of Llanowar Elf right now, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather leave up a counterspell for something like Collected Company, or let's see, another Arc Druid. I'll just counter that, I think. Just if we just keep like stopping him from doing what he wants to do, we're gonna just crush the long game with 4 Terminus in our deck, our powerful Planeswalkers, and Dwindon's Lead. Okay, that's fine. So we can just Jace Brainstorm here, put Terminus back on top, and then our Jace will die, but that's not too bad for us. Then we just get to Terminus and he can't really commit more to the board. Could also just opt trying to find a different Terminus. I guess I like just Jace Brainstorm. He's probably going to play more creatures, so this should be pretty good. It's not like he can really expect Terminus either. Okay. So I'm able to shuffle 1 card away with this Field of Ruin if I want. So I guess I put back Plains and then Terminus on top and pass. So now he can go attack Jace for 3, play about a bunch more creatures out, and I can go Terminus. So it's an expensive Brainstorm to set up that Terminus, but this is not Legacy, so do what we gotta do. Oh, Vivian, Jesus. I was not expecting Vivian. That's so bad for us that I didn't have counter up, but there's nothing I can do. Let's see. Can be cast for its miracle cost. I think I have to let this trigger resolve. I haven't done this for a while on Magic Online. Okay, now it's just from hand and I just pay white. Okay. And then we know our top card is a Plains. This is definitely going to be a problem though. And this is just a cast trigger, wow. That's pretty insane. I could just opt and put that on the bottom. I can also just kill his Gilt Leaf now. I suppose I do that and then just leave up double opt. He probably does not have Swamp. And then just leave up Leak and double opt. Maybe just draw into Teferi to deal with that Vivian or something. But that was basically exactly what I did not want to see. Heritage Druid, I mean, I can just let that resolve. Nettle Sentinel. I could just leak this now. He's just going to plus Vivian. Rest in Peace probably doesn't do anything in this matchup. And Mystic. I guess I could have waited even longer on the Terminus, but I thought he was going to commit more to the board, not the Vivian. Could have also played Kaheera instead of Jace there. Now I also don't want to play Jace quite yet. Is there any reason to opt on our turn, or should we opt on his turn trying to find Terminus? I think I'll play 1 opt now. It sucks if we draw Terminus, but we can always hardcast it. Bottom. There's a fetch land. Don't really want to just play Jace and have it die. I think I'm just going to opt on his turn. Might even just crack Delta and then opt on his turn. We'll see. This doesn't really have any ultimates, but he can just cast creatures from the top of his library as well. We don't have any like detection spheres or anything for that. So just him resolving that Vivian was just terrible for us. Visionary, I'm just going to let that resolve too. His deck is probably just mostly creatures in Vivian. He might even have the 4 mana 2/3 whenever he casts a creature spell, draw a card. Heritage, sure. Another Heritage, got it. Twin Inns, sure. Try to find Terminus at some point here. And plus Vivian. And we might be able to just beat a Vivian because it doesn't really have any ultimates. Izuri, okay, well, I'm going to have to find Terminus pretty quick here. I think for that reason I don't crack Delta because I know already one card on that I put to the bottom with the other opt. He's got one card in hand. Continue to cast spells from the top. Creates a 3/3, sure. And he can attack for 4. He's just attacking for 3, okay. It's interesting. I don't know what spell he could leave up. Serum Visions. Normally I would want that, but I would rather just be drawing Terminuses. Okay, just draw for our turn. We don't hit, so I think we might just be dead. Let's just try to Jace. Brainstorm. But yeah, probably just going game 2 here. Just him resolving that Vivian was just too much, I think. Well, I can Terminus on his turn, so that's not bad. Let's see, because I can put back land here, and then Terminus on his turn. So, because I can go opt, draw, trigger, and then in response to the miracle trigger, fetch. So that's what I'm going to do. Pass. Okay, I'm actually in a decent spot now, I think. He still has Vivian, but he's probably going to commit to a lethal attack, and then I get to Terminus. So, oh my god. I just put back 2 lands instead of putting back the Terminus, so I'm dead. I just totally punted. I'll just concede. Man, that sucks. That was just a misclick. I was thinking put back Terminus, and then it wasn't even a misclick. I just punted. I was thinking put back Terminus, and then I just put back 2 lands to fetch them away, but I should have just put back 1 land. So that was pretty embarrassing. Definitely had a good chance to win that game because our Jace would have survived. That was pretty bad punt. Let's see. Suppose we can just bring in. We don't really have anything to bring in. That's the problem. I thought about trying to find 2 cards that I could always bring in, just like some other random planeswalkers. But I think this matchup seems reasonable for us. We just have to basically stop Vivian, and then we can deal with his creatures fairly easily. I can just bring in Veto and Narset for that reason. Don't really want Disenchants or Rest in Peace or anything. So sorry for the punt there, but hopefully we'll come back. Kaheera doesn't do that much, but it can block for our planeswalkers. Maybe I'd rather have Ashiok over Veto, just because his deck is going to be pretty much all creatures. I don't think he can search his library that much though, so I don't think that really does anything. I could just board in like a cancel, basically, over Veto, but I guess I'll just have Veto. He also might be boarding in some number of Veil of Summers. But it's like, I'm trying to get better in the fact that I just completely punted that game, but I can't get too upset. I gotta just keep playing. Everyone's gonna make mistakes, and if I get super upset, that doesn't do anything for me. That's just bad for me. So I just try to stay positive and move on. When you make a mistake like that, getting upset does not help. So let's see if we can just turn it around and win this match. I'm going to keep this hand. I'm going to go fetch Hallowed Fountain. That way we can set up our scry better than just playing Island. And the damage doesn't matter too much, I don't think. Hallowed Fountain, pay 2 life, yes, and Serum Visions. Felt pretty bad because I thought we had a good chance to win that game. And then we kind of just got wrecked. I think I'll take both of these. Top, pass. Could have even like bottomed both or just kept the land, but I think opt is good. Gives us a shot to Terminus on his turn as well. Terminus seems insane in this matchup. So we know our top card is Plains. I can just wait on this opt, honestly. I think that's fine. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not in a rush to cast this path this game. Okay, looks like he's on a one-lander. Sure. I mean, I could just opt and draw the Plains right now. Just because then we can just keep drawing for our turn and draw Terminus that way as well. That's not bad. Yeah, I don't hate that. Alright. Just top it. Just cycle. Did not draw Terminus, but we drew Mana Leak, which is a good draw. He'll probably just go for some type of 3-drop here. You can't really put that much pressure on, and we have Force of Negation and Mana Leak up, and Path. So I'm probably just going to leak whatever this is. Elvish Visionary. I mean, he might not have any more lands, that's the thing. I think actually I am going to leak this. Because he can't play a 3-drop after this. If he has another land, he can go land 3-drop, but... Gwynen's, sure. Now I'm just going to pass with Cryptic up next turn. Because I drew the blue source, okay, that's sweet. If he attacks, I'm just taking damage. I don't want to play the Jace yet. Now at any point, if I find a Terminus, it's just so good for me. Winding Way. Alright. So his deck is pretty much creatures, probably some Winding Ways, and then some Vivians. Might just force a negation this. I'm going to. Just hardcast Force a Negation. Save my Cryptic for next turn. You can play a 3-drop now, but I also have path if I want. So I think, do I want to path now? I could path on his next upkeep, but then he could potentially play a free Collected Company. I think that's fine to path on his next upkeep and not give him more mana. No, I'll just path now. I guess I could have waited because if I draw Terminus, it's obviously better to just to not use my path. Okay, did not draw Terminus. Alright, just going to pass with Cryptic. Plan on taking some damage here. If he starts with an attack. Again, not letting him resolve like cards like Winding Way or Vivian is how we win this matchup. We can hopefully eventually find our Wraths to deal with his board, and then if he doesn't have these like things like Winding Way or Vivian that are just generating insane value, then we're in a good spot. Elvish Visionary, I'll let this one resolve now. Winding Way, yeah, now I counter draw. Terminus? No. Force negation. So now I probably have to play Jace and Brainstorm next turn. Hopefully he has no Vivian. Shaman of the Pack. Okay, I mean... Yep. So we're just dead. Unless we draw Terminus. I guess we could Jace Brainstorm into like another draw spell plus Terminus and hopefully not mess it up this time. Jace. Brainstorm. Terminus Spell Snare, but now we can't draw the Terminus. So we're just dead on board. Oh man. Yeah, just punted game 1 there, so sorry for that. It wasn't for sure that we were going to win anyway, but we definitely had a good chance, I feel like. Just going to attack all at us, probably. Yep. GG's. 0-1, and let's go round 2. Alright, welcome to round 2 against the Purple Mage. Hopefully no more embarrassing punts like game 1 of round 1. And let's see if we're against Lurrus. We're not. Wow. People just not playing companions. Surprising. Keep this hand. Noble Hierarch. Forest Noble Hierarch. So I wonder if this is Infect or something else. I'm just going to play Delta and pass. I know I could save the fetch land, but I can just fetch island here. I think that's good. Leave up snare for sure. Can just end of turn opt if he doesn't play a 2-drop. Finks. Okay, yeah, it's good. Terminus good against that as well. I guess I could fetch Shock in case I draw Terminus next turn. I think it's worth it to not. Archmage Charm. That might be good enough. I'll keep it on top. Not sure about that one either. So no Terminus yet. Okay, sweet. But I can't play Colonnade. I need to leave up Mana Leak. And I need to leave up Mana Leak basically. I'll just play Glacial and pass. We may have to shock in this fountain to leave up Charm, which is pretty telling, but that's fine. Taking 4 off the Sphinx, then we can Mana Leak his play. That's the thing about this deck. Like, a lot of times you feel good because, like, you know, like, okay, any turn I draw Terminus, I'm just going to get such a big advantage. But then sometimes you have trouble finding it. Even with 4 Serum Visions. And a Fenza. Okay, well, I'm just going to snare that. Save my Mana Leak. I can even just play Colonnade next turn. Leave up Mana Leak if I want, but that's a little worse to me, I think. He's probably just some type of Anafenza combo or, you know, not Malira, but just some type of combo like that. Is playing Colonnade now good? I don't think so. I'm just going to shock this in. Serum Vision's looking pretty awkward in this hand. Just leave up Archmage Charm. Take 4 down to 9. He makes no play. Alright, well, I'll draw 2. I could just gain control of one of his creatures. Like, I could just gain control of Noble Hierarch right now. That might buy me some more time. think I'd rather draw 2. Okay, there's Rest in Peace, which actually might be reasonable in this matchup. Field of Ruin. Just going to lead on Serum Visions. Might have Collected Company. Ooh, Timely Reinforcements, I like that. Bottom, top. Can't play Timely till next turn though. And if he has Collected Company, I'm going to need to mana leak it. So I can't play Rest in Peace yet, but I don't really need to. Just going to play Colonnade and pass. Could have played Island Serum there. But hopefully leave yet mana leak, getting my Colonnade into play. Yeah, this is Collected Company. Oh, Cord. We'll get a mana leak it. Definitely not allowing that to happen. Pass the turn. Another Finks, okay. Timely is pretty good against this. I can go Timely plus Serum Visions and tap land, or I can get the Rest in Peace into play. I think I like Timely, Serum Visions, tap land, so I'm going to lead on Serum. If we draw Terminus on the draw step of Serum, we don't get to Miracle it, but I think that's fine. Oh, Jace is good. We'll bottom this and top the Jace. And then we'll play this land tapped. We can just hardcast Terminus next turn as well, which actually comes up a lot when you're playing these Terminus style control decks. Found the Timely just in time. And I'll pass the turn. He could potentially just combo here. Ewit, get back Cord. He might be able to Cord. Oh, Ewit, get back Anafenza. Sure. I mean, I'm just going to hardcast Terminus next turn. He's sending a message with Bird. Just going to block 1 on each. Don't need to send anything to the yard and trigger this or do anything weird. I think he might even just concede to this Terminus. Just going to go play Island, play Terminus. Not even going to try to attack. It's not relevant. Rather just get this down. This happens sometimes too. You're like looking for Terminus and you can't find it, but by the time you could have, he just concedes. You can't find it, but by that time you're just buying time, looking for Terminus, and then you just get up to 6 mana and just cast it. So that's more what I wanted to see rather than the game 1. So far this has not done anything, and I think most of the time that's going to be the case, but I think it still might be reasonable. Okay. I think Rest in Peace is actually good. I think his combo often uses the graveyard. We saw Eternal Witness, we saw Kitchen Finks. Dovin's Veto is actually interesting as well. I don't know if we want it though. Ashiok stops like Court of Calling and fetch lands, but I don't think that's good enough just because he can pressure the Ashiok relatively easily. Maybe I'd just bring in the Rest in Peace and then board out like 1 card. Like I could board out a Jace, I could board out a Mana Leak, I could board out definitely like Spell Snare. Archmage Charm seems reasonable as well. Could board 1 out. Don't think I want to board out a Serum Visions either. And basically, like, what's the worst card? I definitely want the Timely. Maybe just one of the Jaces because he has so many creatures to pressure. I think this looks good. Just go up to 3 Rest in Peace so we always have 1. I could just not sideboard also. That actually seems reasonable. Just have 2 Rest in Peace. I think this breaks up the combo enough that I want all 3 of them. Let's go with this. Alright, game 2. Let's reveal our really powerful companion. And let's go. I'll keep this hand. Double Field of Ruin is not good, but we have a Spell Snare for his 2-drop, and we have Timely Reinforcements, which seems nice to me. Opponent kept 7 as well. No 1-drop. Interesting. So this Spell Snare should be pretty sick. Alright, I'll just lead Island. Pass. He has to have a 2-drop. Yeah. Snap Spell Snare that. Plan on getting Hallowed Fountain with this Poullted Delta. Wow, he conceded the game to a Spell Snare. Maybe he just wanted to go join a new league. Maybe he was 0-1 as well, and he was like, I'm over it. He revealed his hand. I mean, his hand wasn't great. I don't know why he conceded. He could play like a Knight of Autumn next turn 4-3. I mean, yeah, I think we were pretty heavily favored. Double Trophy doesn't seem that good to me. But he has Veil of Summer. I mean, interesting. I don't know why he snap conceded. He was probably just tilted from the first game from a hardcast Terminus or something. But really bad punt in the first round and then just crushed the second round, I guess. I mean, he just conceded, so not the most fun match, but let's just keep going. Round 3. Welcome to round 3. We're 1-1 with Blue White Control with Kaheera. We're against M. Hayashi, who is the #1 leader in undefeated trophies. So I'm not sure what he's going to be on, but we're going to reveal Kaheera, and our opponent reveals Giganta. Okay. I'm also not sure who this is. It's probably somebody fairly well known, but I don't know who it is. We'll keep. See where he might be on Niv Mizzet. He might be on Mountain Blister Coil. Interesting. Giganta Blister Coil. I mean, this just looks like prowess to me, but why would he be prowess with Giganta? Maybe it's some other prowess deck I'm like not expecting. Of course, drawing Terminus there is not where I want to be. I guess there's a chance I'm going to want to fetch Shock, and otherwise I can fetch a tap land and not even opt yet to not take damage. We'll see. Can also just fetch Shock Path if I need to. Rather not Path yet. Just definitely going to take 1. This is probably going to be a light up the stage. Nothing? I'm actually just going to fetch tap land. I don't think I need to rush on this opt. Just rather not take damage. I have no idea what our opponent's on. Rest in peace. Don't really think I need to just slam that yet. Just gonna play Glacial and pass. Stomp our face right now. We can't counter it, so that's fine. It's basically just a shock. Man, I just don't know our opponent's deck. Maybe he's just on some meme deck or something, but just gonna take 1 off Blister Coil here. I might just play a Bone Crusher Giant, which is totally fine. Yep, he does. Alright, I'm gonna opt. Okay, I got confused there the way that was stacked up. And Serum Visions isn't bad. I also wanted to let Bone Crusher resolve, because if I draw into Terminus, it's really bad for me. I shouldn't have played it that way. I'm gonna bottom this. Yeah, and if I drew Terminus there, it would have been actually really annoying. I'm gonna opt again. Spell Snare. I'm gonna bottom. He didn't have it. I guess he's 2-drop with Stomp, but yeah, I'm gonna bottom here. It's a fairy. That's interesting. Alright, let's just go to our turn. Okay, there's Terminus. So I have to press OK one more time. I want to make sure I don't mess this up. Play Terminus. could just slam a Rest in Peace now and get it down. Can also play my Colonnade, leave up path. I guess playing Colonnade is good. No reason to play Rest in Peace yet. He doesn't even have any cards in graveyard. And then this way, if I don't need to path, which hopefully I don't, next turn I can play Teferi and leave up path. Abbott. Alright. Looks like he's just like red value. Light up the stage. Okay, well, he can only play that this turn. Swift Spear. Sure. So I think I actually need to path Swift Spear, because if he has another land, then he gets to light up. And I don't want to let that happen. So I'm going to path. Also, I don't really want to bounce this Abbott, but I can just leave up Cryptic. Yeah, see, he could have cast light up there. No rush on this Teferi. Just going to play Island, leave up Cryptic here. I think we're in a pretty decent spot. He can just jam a Gigantha, but I can counter it. I'm going to take 2 off this Abbott. If he doesn't play a spell, I'm just going to keep passing, I think. I can take 2 for a while. He doesn't want to play Gigantha into 4 mana. It's reasonable. Soulscar Mage. Kind of feeling like I just go counter. I don't know if Gigantha is even that scary, and I can draw a card here, and I can just get to 6 mana fairly soon for this Terminus. Just gonna go counter draw, use my mana, draw a card. I think it's good. Bonecrusher Giant, hard cast. Okay. He's got 1 card in hand. Here I could play a Kaheera to chump, to try to trade, and I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just going to play Kaheera and play Rest in Peace, and then plan on next turn Terminusing. I like that. Drawing the second Rest in Peace wasn't good, but is what it is. Exile the graveyards, play our 3/2, pass the turn. If he has a removal for this, we're going to take some damage, but again, then we just get to play Terminus. So we're just playing Kaheera as like gain life for free, which is not bad. This Teferi might be good as well. So he's just like big red basically, and then playing Gigantha because it's free. Alright, I'll block. I also might not even need to Terminus yet now, but okay. Doesn't want to play Gigantha yet. He's just waiting. Oh no, he does. He has 6 lands. Okay, so I could just get the slam Terminus. Okay, go land, get island, play Terminus. And now we're in just such a good spot. We have Teferi in hand. We even have Force of Negation. He has 0 cards. We're at 9. In a great spot. We have Colonnade. So he's just mono red prowess with Gigantha rather than Lurrus. I'm not sure why. Maybe he's just like having fun, or maybe he thinks it's good. I mean, he's the #1 leader in 5-0s, so must be pretty decent. I mean, he has a fair amount of creatures. Definitely bringing in all 4 core Firewalkers. I think that's probably all we want. I don't even know if we want Veto. It might just be too narrow, because he showed us Bonecrusher Giants, multiple Blister Coils, like a lot of creatures, even Abbott. Yeah, he just might be playing a red prowess deck with more creatures than is typical. So, could leave in 1 Rest in Peace to hedge, but he's not even Lurrus, surprisingly. So I think I'm going to take out both Rest in Peace. He also might, since he saw it, he might try to play around it by like taking out some graveyard synergies, so we don't need to hate on it as much now. Could just side out like 2 Jace, or I could side out like 1 Jace, 1 Teferi. Teferi seems pretty slow. I think we can just win with like core Firewalker. Also got to be aware because if you play Core Firewalker and block a creature and then he goes Stomp, he can't target Core Firewalker, but he can Stomp, target you, then damage can't be prevented, and then the Core Firewalker will die in combat even though it has Pro Red because it can't prevent the damage. So that's going to be something we're going to have to try to play around, but these Core Firewalkers, we have quad Core Firewalker plus Timely now and against Mono Red, so hopefully that'll be good. We don't get to have Kaheera, but I don't want to side it in a 3-mana 3/2 Vigilance. I just would want it as my companion, but not as a main deck card. So now we're down in the companion battle, but I think that's okay. Oh man, I was about to say keep, but I just have only planes. I can't keep. If this was Island, I could, because I could lead Serum and then opt. But I have to mulligan. This hand's not great, but I'll keep. Actually, probably just going to keep all these lands. Put back a Jace. Could just put bottom one land. I guess keeping both Jaces is better. This hand is a little bit slow for my taste as well, but I don't really want to go to 5. And hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully we'll draw Core Firewalker. Serum Visions. Usually like to fetch before, but I also don't want to fetch Shock. I can just fetch Island Serum. I'm going to do it. I'm going to fetch Shock. Sucks to have to do it, but Hallowed. Yes. Serum. Okay, there's Terminus and Force of Negation. We drew Timely Reinforcements. Okay, so this is looking good. So I'm going to draw Terminus next turn. Do I want to draw Force of Negation after that? I don't think so. Bottom, top. So this is where Serum Vision sets up Terminus really nicely. If he plays a second creature, we just get it. Otherwise, we still get the 1-for-1. And next turn, we can play Terminus and Colonnade. Oh yeah, this is great. Play one more creature. He'll probably play Light Up the Stage. But yeah, this Terminus is going to be sick. Oh my god. Yes. Okay. Cast. Play tap land. And then if he plays a creature, I still get to play Timely, go back to 21. I could also Teferi bounce something potentially. Just super heavily favored from this spot, I think. Bone Crusher Giant. Now I just get to play Timely Reinforcements. That's so sick. That will buy so much time. Oh, I'll reveal Terminus. Yes. Back-to-back Terminuses? Sure. I don't get to Timely yet, but I'd rather just play this now while I can and not have to play Jace, Brainstorm, put it back, play it next turn. He says, so this sucks. Bolt us. Okay, well we have a gain 6 in hand. Light up the stage. Rampaging Ferocidon. Okay, well we're gonna have to Timely before that. Crash through. Land. Now it sucks because we don't get the 3/3s, but I have to play Timely now. Ooh, Core Firewalker. Well, actually this stops Core Firewalker as well. If he goes next turn Ferocidon, I can go Teferi bounce. So I could go Teferi plus right now, and then next turn try to bounce and play Timely. It's a little more risky, I think, but he only has one card in hand. So I'm actually going to do it. Just Teferi plus. Then he can play Ferocidon, but I can just bounce it. And then play Timely. We also have 2 Jaces. He has Giganta that he can still play, but that's not too scary for this deck. Alright, so this was working out well so far. He can't play instants. Could go bounce, play Jace. our opponent said, I guess I meant what happens sucks, not your deck. He thought maybe we were insulted somehow, but I wasn't at all. All right, let's just bounce now, draw. All right, I'm just gonna play a Timely gain 6, and then play a Flooded Strand. Actually, I think I'm actually not gonna crack Flooded Strand in case I want to Jace Brainstorm fetch. Giganta? Yeah. Okay. Well, we can just bounce that. So I'll fetch now. Get the tap land out of there. Serum Visions. Alright. Plus the fairy. Guess I'll lead on Serum Visions because I'm going to plan on Jace bouncing that. Serum. Oh, there's Path. Mana Leak's also not bad. They both seem good to me. I'm just going to top. Draw the Path first. I think it's the safer play. Then just go Jace, bounce Giganta, pass the turn. Yeah, so he's just on an interesting version of Prowess, trying to replay Giganta. That is totally fine. And a Soulscar Mage. Okay. Well, we can definitely deal with those. Drawing Path. I think I'd rather Path the Giganta than the Soul. Or no, because this costs 5 mana to replay. So, just going to uptick to Fairy, keep it around. Just bounce Giganta again. Play Core Firewalker. Play a land. Not going to fetch because I have a Mana Leak on top, which seems pretty reasonable. And pass. More Terminus, here we come. Not yet. But I don't need to Terminus yet. Rampaging Ferocidon. We gain 1 life. Always yes. Always yield. Alright, that resolves. We could have Bonecrusher Giant, Stomp, but we know 1 card in hand is Giganta, and there's a Crash Through. I always yielded to this because I meant to path that. So I missed out on 1 life. Draw a card, sure. Can't Stomp now. I can just path this Ferocidon. Blister Coil. Alright, I'll path this now. And actually, I think I will. I was going to say I'll fetch this Mana Leak away, but I'm not going to because I can just counter Giganta. Now, okay. Next time I'll always yes and always yield. I'll just draw the Mana Leak. It's a 2/3 trample. Draw Mana Leak. Now I can Brainstorm. I think I can just put back land. I don't think I need the lands. Then I'll fetch. Get island. I'll bounce something with the fairy. Play Serum Visions. Just keep doing my thing. I'll bottom this second leak. Drew a fetch land. I'll play it. Not going to play the other Jace. I'll just pass the turn. No attacks. You know his hand is Soulscar, Mage, Giganta, and blank. We have Mana Leak and Spell Snare, so we're fairly well protected here. Said thanks for at least playing fast. Some control players take way too long. And he's playing Giganta through Terminus, or through Mana Leak. So I'll let that resolve. opponent is really pleasant to play with. So, M. Hayashi, it's been a pleasure playing against you. Check out youtube.com/snapbolt if you have a sec. Recording. Alright, I suppose I'll just leak this. I wouldn't be surprised if my opponent is recording and or streaming, considering he's the #1 trophy leader. Not going to fetch the Flooded Strand because I can Jace Brainstorm. Yeah, just going to wait. I could also just bounce Giganta here with this Jace. Plus, I think I like that. Just get the 5/5 out of there. Bounce. Play Jace. I guess no reason to play it yet. No, I think it's good. Opponent says GG's. I assume they're going to concede. I'll just keep playing. Oh, now we could put Terminus back on top. Yeah, he said he has 2 lands and Giganta, so we definitely had that locked up because we were going to go put back like Spell Snare and then Terminus on top, play a land, leave up Cryptic, but we could just let Giganta resolve and then draw Terminus, and then we're just super far ahead. So deck functioned pretty perfectly there. Yeah, punted round 1, but looking good after that, so I'll see you in round 4. Welcome to round 4. We're against Grayson Wolf 12, 2-1 with blue-white control with Kaheera, and I will reveal my companion. I assume my opponent's revealing theirs as well. Lurrus, okay. Let's see if our main deck Rest in Pieces can get there. I'll keep this. Looks like my opponent kept as well. Let's see if this is... Yeah, this looks like Prowess or Burn with the Lurrus, which is what I expect to play against a lot. We'll be bringing in the 4 Firewalkers again. He looks at our top card, so it'll be interesting to know what he saw. He gets to draw a card. Might just be leaving up like a bolt. So he saw a Jace. That's interesting, considering we revealed Kaheera. But I think I'll just play Flooded Strand. Then he might just think we're like Bant creatures and planeswalkers or something. Yeah, just leave up Spell Snare here. I can always just fetch a tap land if he does not play a 2-drop. Bobble. Lava Spike me now. Sure. Does no land light up the stage? Or does he not have a second land? Okay, wow. That's pretty lucky for us. We'll fetch a Hallowed Fountain. Would you like to pay 2 life? Definitely not. And then I'll just play another Poullted Delta. I think I'd rather just fetch tap lands, I think, while I can. Especially since I drew another one. So our hope is he draws a land and plays the 2-drop. Or just doesn't draw a land and can't really do anything. Swift Spear, that's not ideal for us. That deck doesn't actually have that many 2s. So we could just play Kaheera, or we can play Teferi and bounce this thing. We can also play Teferi and plus. There's the light up. Not ideal. 2 more 1-drops. Alright, well hopefully we draw a Terminus, not next turn, but the turn after. Might bounce his Swift Spear because he's pretty tight on mana right now. And if he doesn't bounce Teferi, that puts him in a pretty rough spot as well. Big Teferi. Like Teferi bounce, I get to draw a card. Kaheera play it. He gets to go like play Swift Spear, kill your guy, attack for 4. I think I like Teferi bounce better. Then worst case, he goes play Swift Spear, kill Teferi, attack for 1. I guess he could draw a land as well, but yeah, I like that line. Just gonna go Teferi, bounce your guy. bounce. I could also plus, but I think making him use all his mana right now is more important in this game. Path is a good draw. Next turn, I can play Kaheera and leave that path. Swift Spear from Exile. He probably wants to play Soulscar from Exile too. He does. Looks like he didn't draw land. I assume he's going to kill Teferi. Yeah. So he has a Swift Spear and 5 cards in hand. That's pretty scary. The problem is if I play Jace, I'm likely dead. Because he can go Swift Spear, and well, not if he doesn't have another land. Because if he goes Swift Spear, Bolt you down to 11, and then hit for 6, I'm still alive. Still think it may be better. I guess I need another white source to play Kaheera plus Path anyway. And if I Jace Brainstorm, I might be able to hit a Terminus. I can also go Jace Bounce Soulscar Mage just to buy time. I don't hate that. Then he has to basically either attack Jace or spend burn spells on it. I don't like going Fetch Shock, play Kaheera, and then leave up Path, because then I'm going down to 11 just from that. So I don't like that line. Could go just play Kaheera and tap land. I don't like that either. I'm actually just going to go Jace Bounce, I think. I think that's like the safest line. We kind of throw away our Jace, but I could also just Terminate. I could not Terminus, but Brainstorm, trying to find Terminus in the top 3. That way, if I survive, then I'm in a reasonable position after that. I could also try to find Timely. But yeah, then again, I might potentially be dead, or at least take a ton of damage. All right, I'm going for the Brainstorm. Did not hit Terminus. We hit only Cryptic. So I'll be able to shuffle away one of the Field of Ruins next turn. And next turn I have Cryptic plus Path up at least. But we could be dead. So if he goes Swift Spear, Lava Dart. What is this? Oh, Manamorphose. Yeah, maybe Kaheera just leave up Spell Snare for Manamorphose would have been good. So if I counter that and have Kaheera out, I'm in a great spot. Didn't really consider that line, but again, if I could play Kaheera and he just bolts it, it's kind of rough. Lightning Bolt. So he hits us down to 11. Lightning Bolt Jace. And then he can hit for a ton of damage. But we can go tap, draw, counter tap next turn. It's going to be rough. He has a lot of cards in hand still. I don't think I need to leave up Path because I'm trying to find Terminus anyway. So I can Serum Visions this turn. So I'll fetch away the Field of Ruin. Go down to 5. I mean, he got there on land just in time, I think. Let's go Serum Vision. Bottom. Need to find Terminus. Then he'll probably play a spell main 1 to trigger Prowess, like a Manamorphose or something, and I can go counter tap. Arid Mesa. Oh, I didn't tap. I think this is actually, I was going to say okay, but it's not. I'm just not going to make any action. Not going to make any actions, but this is pretty bad. Because he could have like multiple bolts, and then anytime I play a spell now, I just get wrecked. Didn't draw Terminus anyway. Been misplaying pretty bad here. Alright, just play Field of Ruin and pass. We'll probably try to go end of turn bolt. I think we're dead to that. So if I counter draw, there's no way for me to draw Terminus anymore. So I think I'm just dead. I'll just concede. If I had gone tap there, I'm probably just get double bolted anyway. Our hand was just a little too clunky. But we get to bring in the sideboard hate. So he's the more aggressive version, and he does have Lurrus. So I think 2 Rest in Peace is totally fine. Veto seems better against this version. That's all we want, I'm pretty sure. Side out, I think even more of the slower stuff. Can even just go down to like... Teferi's actually feel like not great either. It does help us play around some stuff. I can just cut... I don't think I can cut all the Jaces. I might even want to just leave 2 Jace in. They don't have many 2-drops. It might be nice to counter a Manamorphose or something, but their deck is mostly 1-drops, and then they have Light Up the Stage and Manamorphose. Everything else costs 1. So yeah, I think actually I found it. I think I like setting out Spell Snare and some of the clunky stuff. Again, I don't think I need Teferi to win. I can just win some other random way. Let's go with this. Haven't played Control for a little while, so definitely making some mistakes here, but that's to be expected. We'll be on the play. We don't get to reveal our commander, or companion. I'll keep this. It's not great, but we have a lot of things we can find. I mean, we don't have a white source yet, which is not good, but there's a white source. I think I actually keep this opt as well. Nah, I'll just bottom and then draw the Flooded Strand for the white source. Pass. That deck is just really, really good, I think. Bubble, sure. It's likely he's on a 1-land hand again, because why else would you lead Sunbait Canyon over any land? You wouldn't. So he's probably on another 1-lander, which can be good for us, but it also can be bad, because if he hits land, then we kind of just get wrecked. Alright, I can go fetch shock Serum Visions right now. I can also go fetch Tapland Serum Visions. That way I can try to opt on his turn for more Terminuses. Definitely want to fetch before casting the Serum. Just deciding if I want to shock. I think I do, considering he led Sunbait Canyon and he might miss on land drops. I think I just want to be a little bit more fluid here. Then go Serum. There's Rest in Peace, which isn't bad in Mana Leak, but I just don't know if that's gonna like win us this game. We can't even interact next turn, and then like playing a Rest in Peace or leaving up Mana Leak after that. Maybe Mana Leak is good enough. No, I'm just gonna bottom. Pass. I am gonna opt end of turn. He could easily have a second land. Let's see. Yep. It's not a good sign. He could have led Sunbait Canyon just to try to like trick us into thinking he doesn't have any lands. Abbott right now. Sure. Just a 2-1 prowess basically. So he is on the Abbott version. Wow, surgical. So he can surgical our Flooded Strands, and that gets 1 out of our hand. Surgicaling Serum Visions. Alright, I'm just going to let that resolve. That was pretty nice that he hit surgical off the Abbott. He gets to look at our deck. He sees what we have. It would have been way worse if he hit Flooded Strand there. I can opt into what's it called? The 2-mana 2/2 gain life guy. I mean, it was likely he wasn't going to get anything off that Abbott, so getting a free spell was pretty insane for him, I think. We also want to find Terminus. Alright, I'll just take, and then end step I'm going to opt. Definitely bottom an island. We drew Jace. Not perfect. I'm just going to go island to fairy bounce Soulscar Mage, I think. Draw another card. Yeah, I mean, in order to win this matchup, I think at some point during the game, basically, we have to find Terminus. Bobble. Trigger Prowess. He may have to attack to Fairy with this Abbot. We'll see. Metamorphose? Yep. Maybe we want the Spell Snares now that we've seen Abbot and we know he has at least 8 2-drops. But even then, it's a little narrow. Okay, so now we can attack us for 5 at least with Abbot and Seal of Fire the Teferi. You can only play sorceries at the moment, but when that deck draws 2 lands and just really like cycles through its deck like that, it's really good. Crash Through was a card I wasn't impressed with originally, but my brother's been playing that deck a lot and he's liked the Crash Throughs, and I think they are worth it now. We hit for 7. Jesus. And if he just attacks next turn without doing anything, we're going to have to take it, unfortunately, because we have to leave up Cryptic. Man, this is rough. Just going to pass. There's no way he plays Lurrus main 1, right? I guess he could in order to bobble. Or play like a Seal of Fire from the yard. Crash Through. I could let Crash Through resolve. I'm going to. It's bad if he just goes to combat, but I can go tap draw now, which I have to do. Tap draw. Drew another island. He's going to go Lurrus Bobble now. So now is the time for us to find Terminus. Our opponent also down at 12. Which could be relevant for like a Colonnade or something. Or a Core Firewalker. That's what I was thinking of earlier. There's Bobble. We're also at 8 and he still has a lot of cards in hand. You can just find like a bunch of bolts. Probably gonna have to path this Lurrus too. We can't just let him get free bobbles every turn. And that deck is really good. Terminus. No. Alright, let's just play Jace Brainstorm, I guess. There's Core Firewalker and Terminus. Man. There's no way we're not dead if I kill the Lurrus, though. That's the problem. And we're at 8. We're probably dead regardless. I think I just... I need to fetch for path. So putting back Terminus right now actually doesn't really help, and we could always hardcast it next turn. And we're probably dead anyway. Guess I'll just put back some fetches. This time I meant to keep Terminus in hand, and I'll pass. Maybe he'll send something at Jace. Most likely he's just going to attack. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. I tried to stop on his upkeep. You can just get a free prowess trigger off Lurrus now, and we're dead. Even if we pathed, it was going to be rough. But yeah, you can just cast Seal of Fire. I mean, if we path, there's no way he has like all lands in hand and he can crack some Big Canyon. So I don't think there's any way we could survive. We just didn't find Core Firewalker or Terminus fast enough. GG's. 2 and 2. Been misplaying a little more than I would like, but I don't think like any misplays there cost me. Let's go for the 3-2 here, going round 5. Alright, welcome back to the final round. This is TCG Shin, and we'll reveal our companion. I think we've cast it 1 time. Opponent does not have a companion, and I'm in a mulligan this hand, obviously. 0 lands. We're on the draw too. 2-2 bracket here. We have double Big Teferi. He mulligans. I almost misclicked there. I'm going to keep this hand. We have a Serum Visions. Can bottom one of these cryptics. Hopefully we'll get there. Hopefully this rest in peace matters. If it's dredged, it's a good sign for us. If it's not dredged, it's a bad sign for us. Oh god. Search for tomorrow. Valakut. Okay. Rest in peace. Not looking good. This matchup is also rough. We have some Ashioks out of the board, but so we drew a Terminus. Another Serum Visions. I'm just going to bottom both of these, try to find lands. This actually second Serum Visions doesn't help us that much because we already have one and we can't cast the second one next turn anyway. So I think I'd rather just bottom. We're going to have to hit some lands here though. Force Negation, that's a good one. Let's go Serum. Drew Mana Leak. We're just not hitting lands. Bottom, bottom. We can Field of Ruin his Valakut if we draw another land. We also have a Force Negation, which I wonder if I want to just Force Negation this Search for Tomorrow. You know what, I think I do. I just want to keep him off stuff as much as possible. I want to keep this Mana Leak, so I'm going to pitch this Cryptic and force this. It's just not guaranteed he's going to play another non-creature spell, and he might be banking on ramping in order to play other spells. So I like our line. Now Mana Leak is better as well. Another Force Negation. Man, I mean, we played 2 Serum Visions, so we drew 2 extra cards, and we scryed 4 to the bottom, so we saw 6 extra cards. We didn't draw a land since our opener, so that's really unfortunate. Land? 5 drop. I mean, I don't think this keep was that bad. We saw a ton of cards, just sometimes you don't get there. This game is probably over now. His man is like totally established. Triple blue card. Well, maybe he'll play Primeval Titan here. I'd be surprised if he does not play it. I have to counter it, but the problem is now we're just so far behind that he doesn't really have to do anything except hit land drops, and then we're just going to lose. Now we hit a land. I'll just play it and pass. If he doesn't do anything, we can just field a Valakut. If he plays a Titan, obviously I have to counter it. Another land. Scape Shift. So I can just hard cast a Force Negation on that. I'm going to fetch Shock because my mana is so bad. This Rest in Peace doesn't do anything, I don't think. It would be good to stay above 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess I could have let it resolve, but then I died at any bolt or anything. I mean, I could still let it resolve, but I don't think so because then any mountain I'm dead to after that too. So I think I'm just going to fetch Shock. Yes. Just cast a Force Negation hard cast. Then hopefully we'll draw an island for this Archmage Charm. Just going to hard cast this. Maybe there's some world where we get there in this game, but it's looking pretty rough. We have this Field of Ruin, so that's a little something. Land. Untap blue source. opt. Could just get a little greedy and try to opt. I think I should. I need to hit my land drops at some point. Still have mana leak up. Okay, well, top that. Unfortunate that we don't have charm up, but gotta hit my land drops, like I said. He still is 2 lands away from casting Primeval Titan through mana leak. And now I have the Archmage Charm. Bloodbraid Elf. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Well, let's see what he cascades into. Dryad. Can't counter anything. So I'm just gonna have to path the Dryad. I could have mana leaked the Dryad because then he would have to fetch to pay for it. But now I can't mana leak anything. Just let that resolve. If he goes to fetch, I'll just Field of Ruin to Valakut, get a Plains, and then path the Dryad in response. That's not great as well, but that's what I got. Oh, he played a fetch land from hand. Alright, I'm super dead. Let's not prolong it. I mean, he has triple fetch land out, so he can go, if he goes fetch, and I go like respond by fielding, he can go like fetch in response. If I go path, he can go fetch in response and just bolt us a million times. This is a rough matchup, but wouldn't have been as bad. We just straight up didn't function. I think I still want Veto. Definitely don't want Rest in Peace. So I need to side out one more card, I guess just Timely. And then just keep the main deck pretty standard. I like that board. Definitely keep me in Spell Snare in this matchup. All the other counters I like. Ashiok is huge. If we can get an Ashiok down and protect it, it's nice. Although his version has like Bloodbraid Elf and Dryad and stuff. So his version seems a little, well, like a little bit better positioned against what we're doing. Alright. Alright, game 2 against Valakut. I would like to play first. I'll reveal my 3/2. 0 land. And I'll keep this hand. What am I putting on bottom? Could put a path on bottom. I mean, pathing his guys early isn't great. I think I'll do that. Can Dovin's Veto like some ramp spell. I should have also probably played Hallowed Fountain, because if I play Hallowed Fountain untapped now, he might know that we have a counterspell. I mean, it's not that relevant. We could just have mana leak. This is gonna be a Search for Tomorrow. When that deck has Search for Tomorrow, it's like a lot better than when it doesn't too. It's just like the most powerful 1-drop they can be doing. Gotta watch out for Veil of Summer too. I guess yeah, it would have been better just to shock into Hallowed Fountain there, I think. Because then, especially if we opt, then it's obvious why we did that. Yeah, I don't know if our opponent's in the tank or just doing something else. They finally suspend Search for Tomorrow. This has actually been a really quick league considering the deck I'm playing. The punt in round 1, game 1 just felt really bad. But I think that was just due to, honestly, I make more mistakes when I'm recording than when I'm not. It's hard still for me to talk and play at the same time. I haven't been recording that long, So I'm still getting used to that a little bit, and I think I'm more apt to like make misplays when I'm making videos compared to when I'm not, and I'm just like in my zone. But yeah, when I just was like even talking about Jay's brainstorm, I'll put back this and terminus, and then I'll terminus, and then I was like, oh, I'll just shuffle 2 lands away. I kind of got distracted because I was trying to focus on what I was saying as well. But if you stuck around till now, thank you, and hope you're enjoying the content. Again, if you can support me, that'd be great. This is youtube.com/snapbolt. And, you know, I've had a great time making videos, so I'm going to continue to do so. Hopefully you all enjoy them. Our opponent either just double queuing or went to go do something else. So I'll pause the recording real quickly and come back. Alright, end of turn, opt. Field of Ruin. I don't need that. Mana Leak's a good one though. I think I want to still shock into Hallowed Fountain because if he plays like some spell like a Farseek or something, I guess I'll veto that. I mean, I guess I can just veto this Search for Marrow on T3. So, I mean, I could shock in Hallowed Fountain, play Mana Leak, and that disguises my play a little bit because then he'll say, oh, that's why he shocked in. I like it. I'll just shock in. Who knows? Maybe there's something I want to veto anyway, but most likely there won't be. So I'm just gonna Mana Leak any play he makes here, most likely. I see he plays a Relic of Progenitus. I'm not gonna Mana Leak that. One thing about this deck, it does seem a little harder to win, like without Snapcaster Mage. We also don't get the Mystic Sanctuary lock. So the Kaheera version of this deck might just be worse, but I really wanted to try it out and just like, see if this like really like bad companion in the board like is relevant or not. So far it hasn't been that relevant, but this is also a really small sample size and I could see it being better. Like we haven't had that many games where we're able to just like tap out and play it early. So that could be why. Alright. Our opponent taking their time. Again, I'm just going to Mana Leak any play he makes, he or she makes. Let's see. Maybe they're just in the tank about what lands to play. You do always want to make sure to stay ahead on time when you're playing a deck like this, because matches can go really long. They surprisingly have not yet, but they definitely can. Sakura Tribe, perfect. So I just Mana Leak that. He was maybe wondering why we shocked in and like, do I want to play into a counterspell? And luckily for us, he did, because now next turn, gonna just Dovin's veto the Search for Tomorrow and play Opt. Thing is, Veil of Summer does counter Dovin's veto, I'm pretty sure, because Veil says spells you control can't be countered, and the Dovin's veto doesn't get countered. It just tries to counter their spell, and then their spell says can't be countered also, and Dovin's veto doesn't fizzle, it just happens, but then the spell doesn't get countered, and then they get their spell. And they draw a card, because we cast a blue spell, but yeah, our opponent playing really slow here, so I've said before, it just makes playing Magic Online far, far less enjoyable when your opponent plays really slow. When your opponent plays fast, like when we were playing against M. Hayashi earlier, it's just like really, really enjoyable play experience, especially that opponent was just so pleasant, just like exchanging, you know, a little conversation with us, and it's just like so nice. They're playing at a really fast pace. It's fun. It's like going back and forth. But when your opponent's sitting here like this and just like they're gonna let this Mana Leak resolve, they're just doing something else. It sucks. That's why it'd be nice if on Magic Online they invented some type of like rope like they have with Arena and a clock. So like that way you don't have too long like on any one like action. Like maybe if you're making a ton of actions, it can increase the time of your rope or something, so that way you can combo off if you're taking like a million actions. But if you're just sitting there, your rope's going down, then it'll just pass automatically. That'd be nice. From the way our opponent's playing, it just feels to me like they're like double queued. But I am going to just try to play this out. I'm gonna most likely just play Island, pass the turn, leave up Opt and Dovin's Veto, plan on vetoing their search for tomorrow. Serum Visions. Alright, I'm gonna play that over Opt. Jace, that's a good draw. Cryptic is good as well. Maybe I want this land. No, I'll bottom the land, top the Cryptic, pass the turn. We know we're going to get to use the Dovin Veto because he's going to cast Search for tomorrow here. I mean, this matchup isn't great for us, so most likely our opponent's just going to take a bunch of time off their clock. They're probably playing another round, and then they're still going to win this match anyway, but I'm going to stay confident. I'm going to try to win. We're in a pretty good position this game, I feel like, because we get to counter the Search tomorrow. He's still on 2 lands, countered his first 2 ramp spells, and then we get to slam a Jace, or just leave up Cryptic, and then slam Jace after that. We can counter this spell, and then, yeah, maybe he can play one spell here, but then we leave up Cryptic after that. So, I was going to say looking decent, but this is just painful. Veto this, and I'll F6. So no Veil, please. That was the downside of this line. Looks like he doesn't have it though. He could also have a Dryad here. Dryad would be pretty annoying. I'd have to just let Dryad resolve. Next turn, I mean, depending on what he does, we can either play Jace or leave up Cryptic. If he doesn't do much, probably just want to play Jace into an empty board and then leave up Cryptic after that. That way we can actually gain like a little bit more of an advantage. And our opponent just has used like about 7 more minutes than us at this point. Off their clock. It's not like these games have been that complex or anything. So hopefully it's not too painful for anybody watching. I own like pretty much most builds of Valakut like in real life with real cards, but I don't enjoy playing it that much, honestly. It's just like you're just sitting there shuffling your deck a lot. It plays out fairly similarly every round, every like game. You don't have that crazy of decisions in general. There are some nice lines, and you do need to be good at playing the deck, but I think like the deck doesn't have that much play, and you're just sitting there shuffling a lot in real life. So it's not my favorite deck to play. Although in real life, I do enjoy playing Blue-White Control, just because the game's going on for a long time, you have tons of decisions, you're playing a bunch of Magic, and you have kind of like some say over what goes on in the game, for the fact that like in pretty much every matchup, you can generally prolong the game, and then that gives you an opportunity to use skill and good decision making in order to win games. Where if you're playing a deck that's like more glass cannon, like all in, it's like you might be able to get like some turn 1 wins with Neobrand or stuff like that, but past the keep decisions, it's like you're more glass cannon, you're all in, you're like, okay, well I gotta go for this. Whereas in Blue-White Control, you have like basically like you can determine more like the outcome, because you have like there's way more to do. Like right now we need to decide if we're going to play Cryptic or Jace, and I think I'm going to play Jace. if our opponent lets us here. Just gonna keep playing really fast and just like make our opponent actually be there at some point. Like this is only game 2. If we win this game, like our deck takes a long time. I can just like at some point not kill him and just like sit here. I mean, maybe not against Valakut because he can just play lands, but again, he needs to do something at some point. He's going to use all his clock, and if he goes into game 3 with like 5 minutes left, he might just be dead. The clock is a real thing in Moto. Maybe he's trying to finish up another match and then he'll come back to this one, but again, it just sucks. I could go Jace Plus to play around Lightning Bolt, but I think it's likely he's not even going to really have Lightning Bolts in his deck. I'm just going to go for the Brainstorm. Could go for 1 Fate Seal. That way I do play around Bolt and like Bloodbraid Elf in a way. I don't hate that. I mean, he didn't have that much going on. I could also plus target myself. I think I will plus actually, and I'm going to target myself. I think targeting him doesn't do that much. We don't really know if he needs lands or spells. If we like reveal a Primeval Titan, like, is that good? Does he have like a bunch of lands? Is that going to be good soon or not? Like, yeah, if we reveal Bloodbraid Elf, we're going to bottom it. But if we reveal land, do we want to top that or not? We don't really know. But if we Fate Seal ourselves, we can get some good value here. If we Brainstorm here, also we can't use any cards this turn. So by Fate Sealing, our opponent says Pig. Pig? I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe Pig because we played a Jace? Put Delta on the bottom. Could actually put that on top. That way I can Cryptic and Op next turn, but I think I can just bottom it. And then pass the turn. I have no idea what our opponent's talking about. Is he calling me a pig? Or is it some acronym that I don't know? Maybe just because we went Mana Leak into Veto, or maybe it just, yeah, maybe it means something I don't understand. Again, see what he does here. I mean, if he just plays a Dryad right now and doesn't have more lands, it's not that good for him. Oh, server is slow. Oh, maybe he's trying to play faster, but it's just lagging. He's going to try to disconnect and come back. Well, I'll pause for a second and restart the recording when he comes back. But if I've had this happen, if you like lose the game due to timeout because like you just can't really connect to the game, that sucks. So that's not what I wanted. I thought he was just double queuing or something. So everything I've been saying has been kind of incorrect. So I'll just pause for a second. I'll see you in a minute. All right. Well, it looks like our opponent just disconnected and was never able to get back on. So that is not the way I wanted to finish that last round, with just lag into a disconnection. But I guess we got the 3-2. I mean, we barely did. I mean, it was like a one of our opponents just conceded to a spell snare, and then our opponent in round 5 got disconnected. So we ended up 3-2, but our other matches, you know, I had some misplays, and it was kind of a rocky league, but sneaked in the 3-2 with some luck, I guess. I mean, again, I don't want it to go this way, but it did, and we'll move on. Thank you so much for watching. This is youtube.com/snapbolt. If you like the content, please subscribe. That would really help me out. And I guess I'll just talk about the deck for a second. Let's just go to collection. It was fun to play the deck. I think main deck Rest in Peace isn't bad. That being said, I don't think Kaheera is worth it. Like, even just being able to play Snapcaster Mage, like 3 Snap in the main and no Rest in Peace, might be better than Kaheera. I'd have to test it some more. Terminus was a little rough too. I felt like I was like trying to find Terminus, and if I don't, I lose. If I do, I'm in an okay spot. So that wasn't great. I don't know if Verdict is as good right now. Also, people are playing like main deck Kitchen Finks, and they're using the graveyard, so Terminus does seem good. I'd have to play this deck a little bit more, but that was a super fun league regardless, and till next time, thank you so much for watching.